Welcome to how to build a 2D model of the Earth-Sun system using GeoGebra. This is session 19, Direction of the North Pole. Each session builds upon the last, so be sure to check out the playlist in the comment section. We now know how far away from the center of the Earth to place the North Pole, as we saw from our last session. But the question now is, in what direction should we place it? Or where should we place the North Pole relative to the center of the Earth? Well, you might say the North Pole is always to the north. While that is true for every location on Earth, it is not quite so simple in our 2D model. Let's take a look at some options. Before we can actually place the North Pole, even though we know the distance from the center of the Earth, we need to understand the direction it's going to be. Here's one that doesn't work. This is if we place the North Pole always following the orbit circle around. And that might be what you'd be tempted to think, but that is not the case. Otherwise, it would be constantly in a case of equinox. Another option is kind of like a clock. You simply stick the North Pole out beyond the center of the Earth, running in the same direction as the RSE. That also doesn't work well, or we would be in a constant state of winter. So let's try a third option. In this option, we make sure that the North Pole is always pointing in the same direction. That is, in our case, it will be towards the right-hand side of the screen. And as we can see, we're going to come up to March. We'll be in an equinox, and then between March and June, the North Pole will always be in the light. So this is the one that we're looking for. So now we know the North Pole direction. In the next session, we'll be able to add the North Pole.